Linear power supplies, switching power supplies, DMP-A6, DACs, streamers. Let's discuss. Everybody, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. My name is Mark, and you have found your way over to the Modest Audiophile channel. Thank you. Today, we're going to talk about linear power supplies, specifically for the Eversolo DMP-A6 DAC/streamer. If you've watched this channel before, you may have noticed that I did a review of the Eversolo DMP-A6 after I lived with it for about 4 months. And what I learned out of that, there was a lot of comments that came through asking/suggesting if I had swapped out the switch-based power supply for a linear-based power supply. Had no idea what that meant at the time, but I was intrigued enough to kind of go down a rat hole. So what we're going to do in this video, I guess we'll call it part 1, is really just me, a guy. I'm not a hardware engineer, although I have a lot of hardware engineer friends. Just a normal guy going through and swapping out the power supply. It was really easy, folks. It took me less than a half hour. Even recording it, it took me less than a half hour. So I wanted to be able to share that with you folks. So if there's just a normal person out there, you don't have to be intimidated. You can make this swap pretty darn easy, and all you need really is 1, maybe 2 tools, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about where I bought this thing first. And again, the name of the company is called Beatechnik. Let's follow me over here to the website in which I got this, and here it is, the beatechnik.com. Here is the device itself, this power supply. I paid $286 for this. Is it a lot of money? Well, yes and no, right? In this hobby, you can certainly spend a lot more there. I paid the $286 here and placed the order. Interestingly enough, is that from a logistics standpoint, I started getting emails from Vinshine Audio, and they actually were the company that sent me this device. I ordered it in Singapore. I think it came from Singapore. I got this thing without paying any extra shipping. I got this thing in less than 5 days, so I was very impressed. So Vinshine Audio, you may have heard them before. I purchased my Denafrips Aries 2/Enyo DAC from them a couple years ago. Excellent service. I thought that, there was no issues whatsoever. It was a very good experience. So now I got a second good experience from the same company with this particular linear power supply. So anyway, you can see all the partners of Vinshine Audio down here. This one that we're looking at is LHY Audio, and they make it for the A8 Eversolo as well. Don't disregard these prices. This is not in US dollars. So here you go right here, the LPS Eversolo DMP-A6. But anyway, go at your own leisure, take a look at it. It's got all the pertinent information that you need. I was very impressed. So that is where I got it. A couple things to know before you watch this video. All I needed was a single tool. Really what you need is a 2mm hex bit driver. What is that? That's kind of having a 2mm version of an Allen wrench that you can do in a screwdriver type format. Format? What the frick is a format? Format. Woo! Okay. Anyway, yes. All you need is a 2mm hex driver in this type of a format, screwdriver type of format. Anyway, I don't get anything from anybody for doing these videos. I paid for everything with my own money. But real quick, I just thought this was pretty cool. For $12 over at Home Depot, this Milwaukee device here. You unscrew it and you've got all the drivers that you need. Pretty darn cool. One tool and I did the entire job in less than 30 minutes. For this guy, that's pretty impressive. All right, a couple different things to note before you go through here is as far as the warranty on the Eversolo DMP-A6, it took me a little while to figure it out, but yes, it's 1 year warranty. If you do this power supply switch, you are going to void the warranty. So if you're good with that or your warranty's already over, proceed. If you're a little hesitant or a little squirrely about voiding your warranty, well, continue to watch and do it later after your warranty's over. All right. Another thing to know is best practices. It says to, or I read someplace, you want to have the device obviously unplugged and cooled down for quite some time. So I went in the back, I unplugged it from the power cord, let it sit there. In fact, I let it sit there for an hour and a half. That's when I got this tool. And that way all the capacitors and everything else is completely cooled down and you don't have to worry about anything. As far as temperatures go, recording this now, I got this device, or I got this power supply and installed it about a week ago. I've been listening to it since, and what you'll notice is that the linear power supply does run a little warmer. And not hot by any stretch, but it does run a little bit warmer. So depending on how your configuration is, where your device sits, just make sure, just like with anything else, like a receiver or a integrated amp or a power amp, you're going to want to have this thing breathe a little bit, okay? That's pretty much it. So hopefully what you'll get out of this video is just a guy going through and swapping out these power supplies. What's the reason I got it? Okay. The reason I got it was that I was told, or in certain circles I'm reading, that perhaps it will reduce the overall noise floor. So that's check one. Another reason is that the overall soundstage supposedly may grow a little bit. It may have a little bit more depth. The imaging may be a little bit better. And it may, in my case, what I was looking for a little bit more oomph, a little bit more weight behind the music. More on that as we get into the part 2 of this video. But that's really it. The only other thing I'll mention is that, yes, I did have some sections in here that I fast forwarded so you don't have to watch me in real time, taking care of all the screws. When I did slow it back down to real time, it's usually because I'm saying something that I thought might have been important. But outside of that, you should be able to get in and out of this video pretty darn quickly, and then hopefully get onto part 2, which I'll record next and release hopefully at the same time. And that's going to discuss how this thing sounds. Did it make a difference? Was it worth it? And all of that stuff. So on to the installation. Hope you have fun. Grab a favorite beverage and kick back and enjoy it. Thanks. Bye. All right, we're going to start this video of replacing the switching power supply inside of the Eversolo DMP-A6 with a linear power supply. More information to come on that, but just want to show how well this thing was packaged. I ordered it, I think it came in from Singapore, and I got it literally like with less than 4 days, so very impressed there. Very well packaged. Here's what is inside. All right, there you go. This out, just back in here, because every video that I've seen, you're going to want to use this box as a backstop to open up the lid, or turn it around and open up the lid, right? So it's going to go like this. All right, this out of the way. Put this here. So these are the tools I have. I've got a 2mm hex driver in here, and I've got I don't have any toothpicks, but I'm hoping these wooden skewers, if I chop off that, yeah, they should fit. Yeah, they should fit and hold this hold these in place. You'll see in a little while when I get to that part. But I needed something to hold these spacers in place while I put the new screws in. All right. Protective plate, please remove before using. That's got some substantial weight on it, let me tell you. Okay, so get this pointer. So from what I understand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're gonna have to take those 6 screws out. And on the bottom, I'm gonna have to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. I'll put those all in here for safekeeping, and then we'll get on to the next part, okay? All right, so we got all those out. Let's get these off here. All right, so see this slides off. We'll get to that in a second here. All right, so I've taken all the screws out. They're right there. And what I'm being told, or watching enough videos, right, you have some ribbons that are connected to the board on the bottom and connected to the screen up front, to the LCD screen. So what you want to do is you want to nudge this forward just a little bit and then slowly bring it up and have it rest on this box so then you can get on the inside. So let's give that a whirl. All right, slowly nudge it forward and then slowly bring it up. All right, there's the ribbons back there. All right. Cool beans. Make sure the box is back there to rest it. Okay. So, of course, the power supply is going to be on this side here. So this is the, I don't know what they call it, static power supply? I'm not sure. Switching power supply, that's it, a switching power supply. Let's bring this over here. Give you an idea. It's going to fit right where that goes. Actually, it goes this way. Right, because you want the IEM here to come out there. Yeah, pretty nice. Like I know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, let's get on with the next thing. So these, point it with here. So I'm going to have to take out 6 of these screws. We've got 1 here, 2, right, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm only going to need 4 when I connect this thing, because the actual transformer, I guess that's what it's called right here, you don't need the extra 2 on the side. All right, so I think what I might do is bring the camera around so you can get a better look at what's going on in here. Get this one out here. One. What I will say while I'm doing this is that following best practices, I guess. So following best practices, you want to have your unit off and unplugged at least an hour. Make sure that all these, I guess these are called capacitors, I'm not sure. But you want to make sure that it's completely dead as far as power goes. So I waited, actually I waited probably about an hour and a half since the time I unplugged it, while I went out and got this tool right here. Careful, I don't nudge these wires, these antenna wires too much. So, as you can see, I have removed all of these screws, put them off to the side right there. Now what I'm going to do is unplug this cable. It came off very, I don't know if you can see that, it came off very, very easily. All right. And we have the new, I guess, silver cable here that, and these are the spacers. I'll get to that in a second. All right, moving on to the next step. Protection plate, please remove. Spam, I'm not going to talk to spam. All right, those are off. All right, removed all that. Now let's take this out really carefully, make sure that I don't mess up the antenna wires. All right, I'm going to save that for later. Put this aside for right now. Slide this in here. So you're going to put this in here. Can't look through here. Clicks right in. Okay. And then obviously that will connect right over to that right there. These. And you only put them in the corners. You don't need them in the center. Now, that's going to be problematic. All right. So that's why you can use this. Have a steady hand if possible. Easier said than done, let me tell you. I'm guessing I'm going to use these screws because if you use the spacers, let me try to get this here. All right, so the screw on the left is the one that came with the unit originally. The screw on the right is the one that I took from the new unit and removed the protection plate. So as you can see, I put the spacers there. And if I put the spacers, you're going to need the longer screws. So, process of elimination here. I'm going to go with the new screws. All right. We only need 4 of these bad boys. So now, that's where these things come into place. I suppose we'll just break these off. Right? I don't need the whole thing. Okay. Make sure there's no fibers that I'm going to lose inside. All right. Now, let's slide so the power switch is there. All right, that's in. Yeah. Ooh. Get that into the spacer. I can already hear a spacer falling out. So if you can see, one spacer came out. We pop this back in. Easier said than done. For safety, it's just safety that I don't remove any more of these spacers. I'll show you in a second here. Okay, all right. There. Hopefully what you can see here is that I'm using these wooden shish kebab sticks as opposed to toothpicks because I couldn't find any. But anyway, I have that going through the hole here, into the spacer, into the socket below, just to hold it, okay? And then I will screw in the screws that came with the unit. I don't know why they gave extra spacers, but all right. Get this thing back together. connect the cable and put this thing back together. All right. All right, take this one out. One. Constantly mindful of these cables here. I do not want these to get ripped out. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this to that. It's kind of stiff, but not terribly so. There you go. Easy peasy. All right, I think I've gotten everything. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, just like I was supposed to. I don't need those any longer. All right, let's put this thing back together. All right. Okay, slide that forward. That was pretty easy. Let's replace this. Put back in my 2mm hex driver. Now, as I'm doing this, from what I understand, is it may take a little bit of break-in period, just like with everything else in hi-fi. Right? My Wharfedale Super Lintons. I've been using these now for 3 weeks, 4 weeks almost. And I will say that I have a different set of speakers now than I did when I first got them. The break-in period is really opening up my, my speakers. Now what I'm being told about this power supply, and I'll probably talk about it in other parts of the video, but what I'm being told is that this power supply should obviously reduce the overall noise. I use that with quotation marks, not the noise that you or I can hear, but rather the noise that may affect overall performance of the unit. Now, research that I've done is supposedly this will potentially enlarge the overall soundstage, which would be delightful. That's really the reason why I'm going after this, is to get a more robust soundstage, a quieter floor, and better overall imaging. So hopefully that is the case, and that will happen after it opens up a little bit, breaks in, so to speak. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 back here. Let's flip this back over. And we'll get 7, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Let's make sure we got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, we've got the right amount. Okay. If you watch my other video, when I got this, I did another video where I was living with this unit after 4 months, and I explained where I put the SSD drive, and I got a 2 terabyte SSD drive in there, and that's holding all of my high-res FLAC files that I've owned over the years, or purchased over the years, I should say. Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. All right, so I replaced the 6 screws back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. And then 7 up here. We had 1, 2, 3, just like the other side. 1, 2, 3, and the 7th is right there. Okay, let's do next steps. I don't know how long that took, but I tell you, it was pretty easy. Let's save these for later. Put all of this stuff back in this bag in case I ever need it. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to connect this back up, power it back up. The other day I had done some decibel level checks on some songs that I was interested in comparing on the old power supply versus the new power supply. Really curious, does it change the decibel levels at all based on the same volume settings and all that? And then really, hopefully what I can get is, am I getting any sense of difference right away as it pertains to soundstage and imaging? I'm sure that'll take a little bit of time as the power supply opens up, but got to start somewhere, right? All right, so let's get this thing plugged back in. All right, I plugged everything back in, turned the power switch on the back to on. You can see a little faint glow here. Let's turn this puppy on and pray that it all works. All right, oh, nice glow. Cool beans. All right, it turned on just like it was supposed to. And it actually has on what I was listening to last. Do some listening on this thing and then get back to you and we can discuss what it's how it sounds. Hey, if you like this type of content and you want to support the channel, hey, hit like. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, and you're looking to throw away some Monopoly money, yeah, go down there and hit subscribe. You can always take it away later, but that'll really help support the channel. All right, hopefully if you made it this far, we can get on to part 2. See you there. Bye.